I've been struggling to find a way to explain what this product is, how it works, and why you should potentially keep your eye on them. Not because they're bad or not interesting by any means. In fact, the quite opposite. This has got to be one of the most interesting things that I've ever had a chance to take a look at on this YouTube channel. These unassuming glasses allow you to achieve both an augmented reality and virtual reality experience anywhere you go, with up to a 201-inch 1080p OLED display. It's actually kind of unbelievable. Before we go further though, I do want to thank XREAL for sending these out and sponsoring this video and allowing me to take a look at what is now probably one of my favorite pieces of tech. That being said though, and to be clear, everything in this video that I talk about is my opinion and my opinion alone. So hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's get right into it. Just to clear some air here, no pun intended, you might have seen these before under a different name, nreal. This is the same product and the same brand that you can trust. However, they've rebranded themselves to XREAL. Anyways, I think it's important to take a look at these from the outside in because there's just so much to talk about and I don't want anyone getting lost along the way. These look like your typical pair of sunglasses. They even come with a nice carrying case, a few extra bridge sizes, a microfiber cloth, a prescription lens frame, and pretty much everything that you'd expect from sunglasses. But when you look deeper, there's a USB-C to C cable, a blackout cover, and wait, what's this? Each lens has its own display. This is where things start to get a little funky, because when you put on the XREAL Air, you're able to see right through them as you would with a regular pair of glasses. But the second that you connect them to a phone or a device like a laptop, a games console, or my favorite, the Steam Deck, you'd see it come to life. Now, it is quite hard to explain to you what exactly these look like in real life, so I'm gonna have to do my best with showing you video through the lenses. But if there's an analogy that I can give you that will help with this, just picture this. It's like having a floating display a few feet away from you, a very large display at that, all the way from 130 inches to 201 inches. It really does feel like the content that you're watching is in the room in a sense. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, how is this practical? Well, because there's head tracking and you also have a virtual reality environment, which we'll get to, there's a lot that you can do, and the possibilities with these are kind of limitless. One way that I've used them is while sitting at my desk to watch TV, I'm doing other things like script writing. When I want to take a look at what's going on, I turn my head to the side, catch up with what's going on in the show, look forward, and just get right back to work. Another example is if you're following a recipe in the kitchen, you can watch a cooking video whilst you're actually cooking and be able to see what you're doing without a problem and follow along just by moving your head. I like the TV example because for me, I find it very difficult to have a ton of things going on at once, so if I put up a YouTube video while I'm on my computer, it's very hard for me to focus because of my ADHD, so being able to kind of have it off to the side and out of view just allows me to do two things at once without getting too much in my head. Though I will be honest, I will be lying if I said that I didn't mostly use them with my Steam Deck to play some video games. There's just something about laying on the couch, putting on the blackout cover, and experiencing games like Dead Cells in what quite literally feels like a movie theater. What's also nice is that there's speakers built in, so there's no need to grab a pair of earbuds or headphones to be able to make this a complete experience. And they do sound really good for what they are. I've had no complaints when watching TV or playing video games, and even listening to music through them. Considering how small these drivers must be, I'm actually really happy with the sound that comes out of them. Before we dive into the VR space though, there is something that I thought was going to be an issue with these that I ended up just being completely wrong about, and that's comfort. When I first saw these months ago, well before XREAL even reached out to me to take a look at these, I thought that they'd be cumbersome, heavy, and just not pleasing to wear at all for any extended period of time. And I'm just happy to say that I was completely wrong. Firstly, these things only weigh 79 grams, and when you consider the amount of tech inside them, it's actually really impressive. One thing keeping the weight down though is the fact that there's no internal battery. They're powered by whichever device you're connecting to. So that's something to keep in mind, as your usage and the time that you spend wearing them will just depend on the battery life of whatever it's connected to. I haven't found this to be a problem on the devices that I've used, but if you do have a phone with a less efficient chip or just a smaller battery, just be a little bit more mindful. They also stay on my head quite well and really do just feel like I'm wearing sunglasses. Like it doesn't really feel like anything's getting in the way or that I'm wearing something that I shouldn't, which is really nice because if you do want to wear these for an extended period of time, you just don't really have to think about it. One thing that did help though was the 3 bridge adjustments that came inside of the packaging. I ended up actually choosing the largest one, I believe, as I just felt it was the most comfortable on my face, and I'm happy that I was given the option. Something like this cannot and should not be a one-size-fits-all, so I'm just really happy that this is something that they thought about. There are also physical buttons for brightness adjustment and one to turn the screen off and on. At first, I was a little confused as to how I'm able to turn the volume up, but I realized I'm just not very smart because you can adjust it on whatever device is connected. But not only that, it turns out there is actually a way just by holding the brightness key for 3 seconds, then you are able to change the volume through the glasses themselves. Moving on though, what I really want to talk about is the augmented reality capabilities of the XREAL Air, because this is where things get mind-blowing. Having a large display at your disposal is quite amazing, especially if you're traveling or want to keep what you're watching private. But if you have a compatible smartphone, you can use the Nebula app, which turns your phone into a motion-controlled and touch-sensitive remote. Not only that, but the glasses themselves open up a whole new world of possibilities, from a full-fledged web browser with the ability to place multiple tabs in different areas, apps for social media like Twitter, YouTube, and even games. This is called their AR space, and it's actually incredible. Like I said, these glasses have 2 1080p OLED displays and they're running at 60 Hz. So it essentially tricks your mind into thinking there's actual depth between the content and you, as well as other content or apps and windows. This is something that I really cannot demonstrate, as any screen recordings won't show you how this looks in real life, but if you've ever used a VR headset, you know what to experience. Another thing that I want to show off quickly though is that you can use the Nebula for Mac app to get a triple monitor set up literally anywhere via one USB-C cable that's included in the box. So if you're on a plane or away from home for extended periods, I can see these being very practical to get actual work done. The major difference to this and just any other VR headset though is the portability, the accessibility, and the choice between using it with the blackout cover on or off. It really feels like you're living in this weird AR, VR, smart home kind of thing, and it's just really cool. All of this heavily reminds me of something like Ready Player One. I just can't believe this tech is actually something that does exist. One thing that I've learned though with my time spent with the XREAL Air is that these aren't a gimmick, and these can be really functional in your everyday life. They're great for gaming, watching movies, YouTube, and a vast amount of other things. It's really up to you to best figure out how you can utilize them. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this video. Thank you so much to XREAL for allowing me to make this video and try these out. To be honest, I'm kind of sad that I have to give these back because they're a lot of fun and I really do want to mess around with them a little bit more, but I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.